Now, for our top story tonight, joining us from Washington is Congressman Barney Frank. It's a little confusing now. At first, it was reported that you would have voted to continue funding ACORN, but now you say that's wrong. Or am I wrong?
Correct. No, there was one of these verbal confusions. I missed the vote because I was on my way to the White House for a Medal of Honor ceremony. A man from my district tragically killed and got the Medal of Honor posthumously, so that's why I had to miss the vote. I was on my way to the White House security. It was taken. I told the staffer who asked me that I would have been against the funding. Apparently, either I said it imprecisely or he heard it imprecisely, and he heard it as I would have been against the motion. So the answer is no. I would have voted for the recommittal motion and against the funding. When I relayed that to a staffer who asked me, it got
all right. Well, that happens. Mistakes happen. But you would have voted against funding ACORN. Why?
Yes, well, because I think they have forfeited their right to get funds. I admired some of what they've done, but they had the sloppiness in the voter registration. They had some problems, frankly, with embezzlement of people on the staff. When I read about that, I complained. I asked them to come see me and said, this is a grave error and you have to stop it. There was a relative who had apparently done something wrong with one of the officials, and they did not act appropriately. And then when I heard about this tolerance of using these programs for prostitution, it became clear to me that the organization is just not run well enough to get federal funds.
And most congressmen and senators agree with you, and ACORN is done. But today, we see that ACORN is now going to sue the two undercover private citizens and Andrew Breitbart, whose website distributed the tape. So ACORN has a right to do that in Maryland because you have a two-party thing, but it just you know, I think that ACORN is done in the public arena.
Well, let me say this. Whether or not they have a claim against those people is not a matter of federal policy. I will say this. People have said, well, a sting is terrible. I will tell people there is a great defense against being stung. Don't do the kind of thing that would embarrass you on television.
But don't you admire these citizens? Don't you admire these young people going in there and rooting out corruption? Come on.
Yes,
you want to root out corruption.
Bill, come on. Bill, please let me talk.
I want you to admire them. I want you to admire.
I want you to let me talk. I would like you to let me talk. Is that too much to ask? This is a complicated situation. And well, you'll have to get over it. Because my job as an elected official is to deal with public policy. I did want to say this. I did regret the fact that it was legislation. There is this constitutional provision against legislature singling people out. My preference, as I said in the statement, is for the Obama administration to cut them off because they have been getting funds voluntarily. For example, $14 million in the Bush administration. Congress has never earmarked funds for ACORN.
Yeah, but it's a message. You're sending a message that you're not going to tolerate political corruption. It's a good message. Yes, it's a good message.
Yes and no. It's a good message in general, but the Constitution is important. I don't like the notion of us by legislation singling people out because we can't do it as appropriately. So I would have preferred it to have been by the administration.
But let's get back to these two young people who took it upon themselves. Don't you admire them? Isn't this what we should be? All citizen watchdogs, whistleblowers on corruption?
There's a problem because you said, and I don't know this, and I have no reason to look into it, that they may have violated Maryland law. Even if people are doing something good, you shouldn't violate the law.
Yeah, but maybe they didn't know about it. That's a complicated law.
It is complicated, and that's why I can't tell you the answer. It's complicated. I don't know about it.
In spirit. Don't you admire them in spirit?
Bill, can I finish talking about a complicated subject without this? I mean, you tell me, but
such an easy question.
The fact is, you tell me they violated the law.
It's such an easy question.
You tell me, no, it's not an easy question. Do I admire people? Do I get to answer the question?
Well, nobody cares about the Maryland wiretap law. I want to know in spirit if you admire them.
What an outrageous statement. What an outrageous statement for you to make. Nobody cares about the Maryland wiretap law. I do care about the law. I'm an elected official.
Well, you're a little eccentric there, Congressman, with all due respect. The spirit. Do you admire the spirit of the two?
Yes.
Yay! Thank you!
No, excuse me. I want to finish my sentence. I don't understand why you have this congenital inability to let people talk on a complicated subject. I admire the impulse to stop corruption.
Good.
I do not want to condone violations of the law. And when you say, who cares about the Maryland law, I think you're being irresponsible. Of course we have to care about the law.
It wouldn't be the first
time. And doing something good. It wouldn't be the first time you didn't care about the law?
No,
Well,
it
I'm
would be
sorry,
this
that's your
first time I
attitude.
was irresponsible. Hey, Congressman, it's always lively when you come on a program. I always enjoy it, and you're welcome anytime.